Yep. As you can see it well, it's time to rank all the mounts in the game. Now, when I did the research for this video, I was actually shocked to find out that nobody in 16 years, how long this game exists, has done any ranking video about mounts or pets or anything like that. So I said, why not? This would be good fun content a little bit to see how people react. Maybe I trigger some people and piss them off, but you know, it's fine. It's all part of the game at the end of the day. So yeah, basically here we are going to have three criteria: how mount looks, how expensive it is or how difficult it is to get, and how fast it is. So yeah, those are going to be the criteria. So I will go around. But yeah, so to not prolong anymore, and to make the video short, I'll start right off with Sea Turtle. Best mount in the game. I've said it so many times for so many years. 450, I believe, T-points is price. Extremely good looking, top notch, no doubt. Elite floater, it's okay. It's really cheap, 239 or something like that. T-point wise, it's 20 speed unfortunately, so that's kind of a downgrade. Aside from that, it's fine, like nothing special. It's one of the old ones, so he's going to the okay section. Dinobot, man, he's ugly. Basically, he looks cool, like if you ignore his overall shape of his body and his mount and his head actually. However, that's a crucial part of him. Size-wise, he's, I believe, fine, like not too big, not too small. Extremely easy to get. It's also 30 speed, but man, he's ugly. I cannot undersee that. So for that, he's going to the mech category. Goldara monster. Weird one. Also very easy to get. Very accessible mount, 30 speed mount. Size wise, it's a good size. It's small. If you notice, I prefer smaller mounts than those wide big ones. Aside from that, looks wise, he looks good when he's +6 and +7, because you can see his mouth, how he actually looks. However, his body is very weird color. However, once you put him +10, the body color looks amazing, but he gets so much armor or whatever that stuff is all over him. It just turns extremely weird looking. So when you take all of that in consideration, I mean, I guess he's okay, ends up, so I would probably put him above the floater. Secret Fox, very rare mount, very limited to get, like you can only get her from, what is it called, Fair Phoenix treasure box, and you have like 3% chance at best to get her. A lot of people don't like foxes because of their ginormous heads and their funky armor. But if you go to the Chinese mythology and you check their ancient foxes, how they looked, they actually looked with ginormous heads and tiny bodies. So that's the actual representation how their fox should look. So that's why she looks how she looks. Color wise, she turns into pinkish baby blue color with the heart effects underneath her. So for fairies, it's a great mount. On any other class, it just looks very much weird. So yeah, I like her mainly because she's rare and because she's something different, well, at least color wise. So for that reason, I'm going to put her into OK above Koldara. Blocks. 30 speed, semi-expensive mount because he's 1k I believe in shop. Color wise, it's really good, but that problem I have is his head. I would like to see his head so much. I get it that he is supposed to be like this charging bull type of a mount, but man, you could have made like his head just at least a little bit higher. Like literally, if that was just pushed a little bit up, like it would be so much better mount. But aside from that, man, his head is costing him in this ranking a lot. So I'm going to put him. He's going definitely above the elite floater, but yeah, I think he's gonna go above Koldara. This is White Tiger. Basically you get him from his starter account for 7 days, and you also get him from an Easter event, I believe. Basic mount, you cannot combine him, it's expirable mount, 90 speed, I believe, default. It's okay mount when you start. If you don't have literally anything, you can use him very well. Looks wise, looks okay, like a normal White Tiger should look. But yeah, not much else to say. It looks better than Dino, so he's gonna go in front of Dino. Well, actually not, because lasting only 7 days is what's gonna cost him probably the most, so he's going behind. Golden Dragon. Man, this mount is ugly. Like, the concept of a dragon is good, but the color palette of this yellow is just not my taste. Like, what's one bit? It used to be exclusive VIP shop mount, but not anymore. They have inserted him into a Dragon King box, so you can get him easier, but still doesn't change the fact that he's ugly. There's basically 3 types of such dragons, which will come out other 2 a little bit later. But basically this one is the ugliest of the 3, so there's the spoiler. Looks wise and overall, I think he's going to go in front of Dinobot. Yeah. Mantis, no doubt about that, second best mount in my opinion in the game. It's on mediocre expensive side because it costs 1.5 KT points. But man, that jade green is so good color. Like, Mantis is type of a mount that you either adore him or you despise him. Like, there's no literally in between. On Tamers looks exceptionally good. Also on other classes you can make him look good. Like, basically Mantis will make you either look good or look horrible. So yeah, but again, personally for me it's worth 1.5 KT points, so yeah, second best mount in the game. Oh boy, this thing. I hate this mount. I've said it many times, I'll say it again. Literally, this is for me a mount that I would literally give away for free. This is why I named this slot here giveaway free. Horrible concept, horrible looking color palette, too big for my taste, too hard to get. Basically, all of the right reasons. Excuse me, I have a flu. But yeah, basically, it has every right reason to be horrible mount. So, with that reason, I really hate this mount. It's going to give away free. Skyflame Sword. This mount is on my to get list. I get it that it's exclusive for only a Christmas event. It's also expensive, 3KT points. However, looks, it's one of the smallest swords in the game. I think it is actually the smallest sword in the game. And the color palette is just perfect. Like, even design, it's really good. Like all those swirly sword thingies that go behind him when you combine it on +10. Really good stuff. Again, as I've said, the only downside I don't like is that it's 3KT points. But again, for the look you are getting, I guess it justifies it to some degree. So I'm going to put him in really good. Darkness Dragon. This is another of the mounts I want to get eventually. Basically, it's completely same, first of all, as Golden Dragon design-wise. It's just a different color and a lot easier to get because you get him from those Darkness Dragon Ruby boxes, Darkness Dragon Emerald boxes, and they have also added him into a Dragon King box as well. Yeah, basically really good mount. Color wise, maybe you could say a little bit too long, but if you ignore that, color palette is amazing, so it's going yeah, I think it's right behind the Skyflame sword. Proud Panda. Man, I'm not gonna lie, this mount a little bit grew on me. Because I have one friend in the game that adores this mount, just because he likes to be troll. And he likes to use him on wrong classes, but that's fine. Overall, it's basically very exclusive mount. On any other class it's just gonna look weird because it's tiny mount. It's cute, for, as I said, very exclusive, very girly, very cheap, very agile to run, use. You can easily cut corners with him, so overall not a bad mount if you want something very girly for your female class. So I'm going to put him yeah, I'm gonna probably put him in front of the Secret Fox. Ellie Dragon. Now, for about 30% of people, I can say that for them this is the best mount in the game. For me, that's not the case. And there is one reason why. We will ignore the fact that it's extremely hard to get. We'll put that just for a second to aside. What I hate about him is it's too long and it's too high up. And it sometimes I can misjudge when I click somewhere. I would click to a wrong spot and it would basically ruin, whether it's race, corner cutting, luring. Basically this mount, if you are going to use him somewhere where you need a practical mount, it's going to screw you up. Color wise it's good, design wise again it's good, but problem it has, it's way too long. Weights to get, oh boy, I don't like those two, but again I have one. I don't know why, probably because it's that rare. And one thing it has ongoing for him is that it's 40 speed. Basically now from Dragon King treasure box you have a chance to open either 30 speed blue name Ellie Dragon or 40 speed golden name Ellie Dragon. So it depends how lucky you are. But yeah. Oh man. I cannot put him here. It looks better than Panda, like just based off the color and the speed. But man, it's hard. I think he's gonna be probably last one in a really good category. Griffin. Oh boy. Now, I have come to detach with Griffin very quickly because my ex-girlfriend opened one from the third try. So basically I got to ride him a lot when I literally didn't have much. It used to be a mount I chased to get, but now realizing how many got opened on server and they are no longer rare, I don't find it all that attractive anymore. Plus it's very hard to get. This is one of the mounts that I actually don't mind his big size, because there is something about his moving, like when he, I guess I can say, flies, because he doesn't run, he's Griffin. There's something that I really like about his arms, like you look, how do I say, you feel powerful even if you have shit gear on you. So for that reason, I'm going to probably put him above a Elite Dragon, just because, again, a lot easier to get. This mount to get is really pain. This one a little bit less, and he kind of justifies his size, while this one doesn't. Bravo Tiger. I don't like this one. You need crap ton of badges to get him, I think 30. And for what you get soaked cat that just came out of the water. 20 speed. Very weird looking fur. Horrible looking armor. Very weird texture on the armor. Basically not my cup of tea whatsoever. The only thing I like about him that it's small mount, and that's really it. And that for that reason I'm probably gonna go to put him in front of the White Tiger. Green Wave Floater. One of the original 6 water mounts, which we know that this saddle ruined it. It's cheap mount. That's good for 49, I believe, in shop. But other than that, weird looking floater, very ugly, moves very weird, very boring to a degree, I would say. Not my cup of tea whatsoever. Basically it's same thing as Dinobot, only it's a little bit more expensive to get. Basically, if saddle didn't exist, it would still have a purpose, so it would be in front, probably of both of those. But since he has no longer a purpose because of the saddle, I'm going to put him behind Dinobot. Dreamy Cloud. I think a lot of people don't even know about this mount, and the reason being because this was the exclusive mount from 2013 PK Arena Championship that every server had, and only 5 of those mounts exist on each server right now, aside from the new servers. Basically you can no longer get this mount, it's bound to only those 5 characters that won the PK Arena at that time. 30 speed, very small mount, that's good. Now, problem I have with him is the color he changes when you combine him. Like on +4 he looks like a grey mount, grey cloud. On +7 he looks a baby light blue, and when you combine him on +10 he looks that orangish yellow, which I don't like. It's one of those mounts where you are better off to leave him on +7 or +9 just to look better, and even nobody would even see a difference. Basically they would think it's completely different mount. So for that reason, just because as you combine it it's a downgrade, than an upgrade. I'm going to probably put him here, middle of the road. Blue Pony. Basically this was fastest mount in the game for a few years, if we take exception of 40% speed Fire Phoenix, which was available only in 2009 and 2010 from old Halloween event. Basically this was a go-to mount that looked the best for most of the people. It's still good to this day, don't get me wrong. It's cheap for 70-90 points if I'm not mistaken, something like that. It looks good still. Reason I don't really it's not that I hate him. He's good looking, don't get me wrong, but problem I have with him is that over the years he's been so overused, and I'm kind of getting sick of seeing him left and right anymore. So for that reason he's going to go to the top of the OK list. Lava Floater, cheap mount, very ugly mount in my opinion. Not as ugly as some of the mounts, but I don't really like that crater lava type of a thing. It's not my cup of tea. It's cheap. Size wise it's a little bit wider than it should, especially when he spins. Aside from that, yeah, not much else to say. I really don't like how he looks. Is it better than Golden Dragon? I would say yeah, because it's way easier to get just by that fact alone. But if we can rank prettiness, it would be the same deal. Aurora Reindeer, Christmas exclusive mount, even though it wasn't exclusive in first few years of the game. It was a regular shop mount, I believe, for 2 years in a row. So they made him exclusive for a Christmas event only. It comes around in shop for 2-3 weeks and that's it. 20 speed mount, small in size. For some people it's a little bit funky looking with all those stars he has coming out of him. Personally I don't mind him on female mounts, I think he looks okay. But is there better mounts for that amount of money? Also he's not very expensive, it's really actually a cheap mount. I think it's like 230-90 points or something like that. Very affordable mount. So for that fact alone, I would probably put it, let me see, probably in front of Secret Fox. It's okay, basically. This one is a Lavender Tiger. A lot of people don't even know that Lavender Tiger exists. Basically, it's a white tiger in a lavender color, and also has a jade green eyes. This was one of the 2 first mounts in the game. Basically you cannot combine him, he stays at 30 speed, and you're basically just locked out with him as he is. And also it has problem that you cannot keep him anywhere else aside from item bag and auction. So basically you cannot put him in stall, you cannot put him in warehouse, you cannot put him in green warehouse. So very limited mount with what you can do with him. You cannot get him anymore because the GMs removed him in 2010 from shop. He was 70-90 points. So rarity wise, probably top 5 rarest mounts in the game. Usefulness wise, not very useful. I like him, I like rare stuff, and I like that he is purple. And as a lot of you know by now, my favorite color is purple, so that's the main reason why. But I'm gonna be fair here. and I'm going to put him let me see, I think about here. This should be fine. Like, it's cool AFK mount to show off. Like, with that mount you're surely getting noticed. Scorpion King. I hate his head. Such an ugly head. Like, I get it, scorpions usually don't have pretty heads because they're armory. But man, GMs really went all in when they created ugly head for Scorpion. Cheap mount for 40-90 points, I believe. Size wise is okay. I like the way you sit on him, especially assassin. So I would probably say he's the best fit for assassin. Color wise, really good. Green, and that it's more like an arrowed green, and brown. I really like that combo. But man, I cannot oversee that ugly head. Like that, if I saw it in the middle of the night without the light, I would get scared. Like, I think my soul would escape from my body. That's how ugly he is to me. But aside from that, Panda is pretty, but it's small. It has less going on, but man, I really don't like his head at all. So I'm going to put him here. Tadpole Cloud. Oh boy, this is weird looking one. For my taste, he looks better on +7, because on +10 he gets those like swirly thing like a rainbow. He gets those weird stars coming out of his tail. Size wise it's small, I like that. Shape wise very weird. Like on whichever class you put him, you're going to look weird, even on fairy, because on fairies he's going to be probably the closest thing he would fit the best. Aside from that, cheap. But man, I don't really like how he looks on +10. No, I don't really like him. Is he better than Lava Floater? No. Better than Golden Dragon? No. Better than Dino? Definitely. Purple Charming Sword. This one I believe costs 40 hero badges. So really hard to get. I mean I wouldn't say hard, I would just say annoyingly long time needs that you get him. Aside from that, 20 speed, it's okay looking, I would say. Color palette is fine, mostly for fairies. Maybe some female wizards would suit him as well. Aside from that, it would look weird on male classes because it's pink. Yeah, looks wise not very impressive. But one thing it has ongoing for him is that at the very least you can get him on like the Dreamy Cloud, so he's going to go over here. Phantom Ray. Another case where if we ignore his head alone, he would look good. But man, that head is horrendous. Oh man, like some of those mouse have worse heads than the actual animals they represent here. It's 20 speed mount, cheap from shop. Weird shape, I would say, but then again, what you can expect from a Ray, because that's how he looks. One of the original 6 water mounts, which basically lost its value now. So basically, from that, just because is a slower version from the Scorpion King and no longer has a purpose as a water mount, he is going to go somewhere around, I think about here should be fair. This is, I believe, Golden Eagle Ray, if that's his name. Same deal as this one, but at least prettier head, I would say. Color wise, he's not prettier. I prefer this blue, but this one at least you don't get scared when you look at mount from the front. Also, I don't mind the brown color. I think it looks okay, especially in Tamers. I really like him on Tamers. But once again, same deal, was one of the original 6 water mounts which lost its purpose now. So just based on that, it's like a little bit better shape than this one. This one is way bulky. This one is more like flat, like a board. So yeah, I think I'm going to put him around in between those two. About that. Bighorn goat. Boy, I don't like this goat. I think his fur looks weird. Horns are too big. Body is too small for those horns. I get it. It's supposed to represent a wild goat, not the domestic goat. Those yellow auras that are coming out from him from the tail, just weird mount overall. It's small, but again, front part is too big for his legs, I would say. It's cheap, relatively for 90 points, I believe. If not, then it's 450, something like that. But man, I do not like him. Like, nah, man. It's probably better than Ray for sure. From Golden Dragon, it's not better because I like the design of a Golden Dragon. I just don't like the color palette and difficulty to get. Sapphire Bird, or as I call it, stork, because it literally has legs from a stork. Man, people don't like this mount one bit. Too big, too wide, too high. The only thing it has going for it is that it's 40 speed mount. Literally, that's it. Color wise, I guess it's okay. Like, I don't mind the lightish blue, but I've used this mount somewhat a lot. And problem I have with it is very hard to navigate where you should click, because it's so high up in the sky, and it can very easily get you stuck to run in one place. So basically, if you want something practical to ride, never think of a Sapphire Bird. So yeah, again, only reason why somebody should get it is because it's the easiest to get 40 speed mount, and there is only 3 that exist in game. Well, technically 2 now, but in reality there is in total 3 with 40 speed in the game. Definitely better than this crap. I guess it would be better than the this tiger, just practicality wise, so it's going to go here. But man, that 40 speed is saving him. Sea Killing, very cheap mount, very old mount, decently looking. I liked him a lot when he was one of the first mounts in the game. Basically, he was my second favorite mount for a while. However, bigger speed came, better looking mounts came. I would say he's cheap, so that's his selling point, but man, 20 speed is still, there is better stuff to get. A lot of people don't like him because he has big mustache and looks clunky and weird. But basically, if you go through a Chinese mythology, you can find that Kirins, as they saw him as the mythical creatures, basically look like this. So this is their original looks, how the Chinese people in that tradition envisioned them. But with that being said, probably I would put him. Let me see. Probably in front of this Scorpion behind Panda. White Bear. A lot of people don't know this, but this is very first mount in the game that was added in a shop and as a rideable mount. So basically in 2007 all you would see are white bears left and right and everywhere. I think to this day he is the cheapest mount in the game with 219 T points if I'm not mistaken. 20% speed, that's already acceptable because there's a lot of mounts that speed. Looks wise, I don't like him. Even color wise, when he gets an armor, I don't really like that red. I had him for some time, but not my cup of tea, like whatsoever. I know I might upset some people with this, that because I know some people that really like him. I personally don't, that's just my opinion. So I'm going to probably put him here. Assault Wild Boar. Cheap mount. Medium size, I would say. Ugly color wise, ugly look wise. Basically, I never liked him. I tried to find one good thing on him and basically I couldn't find anything. He basically to me looks like you put a potato in the oven and you don't pull it out on time and you get a scorched potato that stills on fire. So basically that's how I see Boar. With that being said, yeah, man, I'm torn. Does he go in front of White Bear or behind? I guess I would put him. Well, he's at least faster, but he's also twice as cheaper, so he might as well go behind. Batwing Lion. Same case as a Dreamy Cloud. As you combine him, he turns to look worse. And the reason being is when he is from +7 to +9, he is red, and a lot of people over the years mistaken him for a different mount, but basically it's the same mount. It's just when you make him +10 he turns yellow, and that is the reason why a lot of people don't like him as yellow. They prefer to keep him as red because he really looks like dark bloody red, like as a bloodthirsty lion should. Like if you see some tiger on animal on Discovery Channel and you see a blood around its mount, basically that kind of red is on him when he's +9. So, but design wise, it's okay. I don't mind his size, it's fine. I'm not crazy fan of it. Expensive EVT wise, he became more of a norm mount now, like normal price, because in shop he is very expensive, like around 2k T points or something like that, ridiculous. However, a lot of people over the years open the pony boxes, and basically a lot of people got Batwing Lion before this one, so he became for that reason like a norm mount. But yeah, with that being said, excuse me, I have a flu, so I might be coughing here and there. Anyway, I guess you could keep him for +9, but then again, why would you? So I guess I would put him just behind of the Scorpion. Surfboard, one of my favorite mounts. This is a case of a mount where the less is more in design wise, because it's very simple design, very clean, tight design. It doesn't have much of a color, basically it's one color with some shades of watery blue. Price wise, it's medium price, 14.99 or 1.5k. Basically, a lot of people like him that I know. It's just that not people bought him over the years, probably because they aren't much into simple mounts. I personally like simple mounts and smaller mounts. But yeah, basically with that being said, one of my top favorite mounts, which is going to go right in here. Lion King, same case as Batwing Lion. A lot of people got Lion King way easier because they opened Griffin boxes over the years. So it became like a normal 30 speed mount, accessibility wise. Size wise, it's spot on. Color wise, it's good. Very solid mount. Yeah, there's not much else to say. I like the brown. I like his size. Basically, it's a classic standard 30 speed mount, what you should expect. But yeah, with that being said, better than Panda, that's for sure. But not really better than the Blue Pony. Ice Floater. I have a problem with Ice Floater, and that's his orange aura underneath him. If that didn't exist, or if it was literally any other color underneath him, I would like it more. But from that standpoint alone, man, nobody can tell me that light blue and orange goes hand in hand. Like, just does not mesh well. Size wise, it's a little bit bulkier because it has those icy shield floating thingies around. 20 speed, one of the older mounts. But yeah, basically standard floater that is just slower than usual ones. Basically, it's a slight upgrade than this one. But man, I really prefer this one because that orange light underneath him just ruins him. So he's gonna go right about here. Little Dolphin. A lot of people might say that this mount doesn't belong here, but then again, it's a rideable, it's a mount, so that's why I've included him. Basically, this mount serves no purpose anymore because saddle exists. Even before saddle, original 6 mounts that can go in water existed. But even during that time, you could do a mount up bug, which you would do just before you would enter into a water area. So you literally had an excuse to not use Dolphin like all those years, especially now when the saddle is introduced and when literally the mount bug does not matter anymore. So with that being said, it's 30 speed, you cannot combine him, so basically he stays as you get him. You can do anything with him, only delete from the item bag. But again, for some people it's waste of space. I personally like to collect things, so I kept him. And only for that reason I would put him behind. But if you could plus him at the very least, man, he would go way ahead of those. Like, he would not be here, probably not even halfway here, because he looks okay, as a dolphin should look. Divine Tiger, this is third oldest mount in the game. They added him like early 2008, so basically it was the cheap way for free-to-play players to get a mount. Still people use it to this day, believe it or not. I have one as well. Looks good when you combine him to plus 10. I like how his armor overshines with all those sparkly things. Problem I have with him is that he's only 20 speed, but aside from that, he is 2-second preparation time when you upgrade him with the charm. But yeah, could you make him work for you? Yes. Is it the best thing in the world? No. So he's probably somewhere middle road. Definitely better than Ray, because Ray lost his purpose because of the saddle. Easier to get, yeah, ahead of this. Let me see. Yeah, I would probably put him around here. That's fair. Moon Bear. This is only mount that has 25 speed in the game. He's a little bit harder to get than the White Bear. Basically, he's a reskin, I would say. It's cool mount. Like, I like his color palette way more than this one. However, before you combine him to +7, he looks like shit. Like, let's get that straight out of the way. This one on +6 looks better than this one, but when you combine them, they flip around how they look, basically. Could be due to the color palette, how the brown goes versus how white goes with the type of an armor they got, the color wise. It's not really hard to get mount. Like, you can get him unbound, you can get him bound, so basically it's up to you how you wanna get him. It's cool mount nonetheless. I like him, how he looks on Monk especially. So let me see. Yeah, I think this is where he should slot in. Blue Chocobird. To get one thing straight, this is not any kind of a bird, even though chickens are birds. But this is just plain out chicken with a helmet and an armor. Looks funky, looks color palette is horrible. Basically I don't like him. Size wise it's okay, it's not too big. It's manageable. Price wise is $449, so he's not crazy expensive. So his only selling point that I can see is his tail, because his feathers on his tail look alright, I would say. But if you combine all of this together, really horrendous mount. So I would probably put him around here, behind the bear. Azure Dragon. I have a problem with this dragon, and it's for a weird reason. Basically, I like this dragon. However, my issue is that it's been so much overused on private servers over the years, because on a lot of the servers early on it was the best thing to ride, and it was everyone's go-to mount because it looked good color-wise. Aside from that, it's same deal as the Golden Dragon, except you have one easier way to get him is for 7k charm points from Charm Point Shop. But you can also open him from the Darkness, not the Dragon King treasure box actually. It's same thing as those two. However, it's looking worse than this one. It's looking better than this one. So for that reason, he's going to go somewhere around here. Probably ahead Blue Pony, I would say. Yeah. Holy Floater. Same deal as this one, only a little bit more boring color variant. I think this one is even a little bit cheaper than this one, or it's vice versa. I think maybe they could, maybe they are even the same price. I didn't remember now. But yeah, basically same deal as this one. There's not much else to say. Probably gonna go behind him. I really hate that this one Ice Floater has that orange thing underneath him. Palm Leaf. One of the original 6 water mounts, which made never sense to me. Like, why does carpet, because literally when you look at it, it is a carpet. Why does carpet go in water? Like, if you put a carpet in water, it would get soaked and it would just get him heavier, and literally makes no sense. Like, they couldn't make surfboard water mount, but they made this, like, whatever. But basically now, yeah, the being water mount is irrelevant because of the saddle. Price wise, it's 1.5k medium. Looks wise, a lot of people don't like him because he looks like you threw up on him, which I can see, and that's why it's not very much been bought over the years. Not really a lot of people like him. I don't mind him personally. It's interesting. I wouldn't say it's bad, but it's interesting. But yeah, with that being said, it was way more interesting when he was water mount. But now it's just like any other, basically. So I would put him probably, let me see, about, let me see, I think this should be good. Yeah, Golden Phoenix. I hate this mount. Basically what happened is, years before I had horrible PC, and every time I would run into this mount I would just get disconnected. My PC would freeze because of his sparks, and yeah, basically a lot of the times even happened that I don't even need to see this mount. I would just automatically stop, my character would stop in place, and I would just see connection interrupted, please open client again, and I automatically knew what was the cause of it. Like, it clearly wasn't the internet, it was this mount. Aside from that, it's currently the most expensive mount in the game. I think it's worth around 1.5 to 1.7 million gold. Basically you need 100 branches to get in, which is enormously and stupidly hard, because of the ways that branches come out from. Looks wise, I don't like that he shrinks your character when you use him. Height wise, it's a little bit higher side, so I don't like that either. But the gold variant I don't really like also, so it's very mount for me. I would probably put him here. Like, it's a little bit, I guess, fancier, you can say, just because of the looks than Lava Floater, but aside from that, literally no. Dark Flame Horse. This is what you call your standard good go-to average mount. 30 speed, small, good looking, good color palette, fits on every class basically. Cheap also for 1490 points, I believe. So yeah, basically I would put him probably ahead of Azure Dragon, if he would move. Yeah. Hell and Thunder Sword. Boy. This was what you call a failed experiment of a mount. And there is a reason why. Basically, this mount was released in 2013 as a shop mount, or exclusive event shop mount. And it had its total life in the shop for 17 days. And it cost 3 KT points. I got an information from one of the former GMs that on that time frame of those 17 days that he was available, only 23 mounts were bought in total from the 15 servers at that time. Basically that was the main reason why GMs decided not to bring him in shop anymore, because literally they realized people don't like him. I don't like him really much either. It's literally same thing as Purple Charming Sword, just yellow. Now you can get him from a charm shop for 4k charm points. Is he worth 4k charm points? No, again. I don't understand why did GMs put so much value into him when it's not good. Like, literally there's so many better mounts looking than this one. Like, if they are thinking just because it's sword that it's going to make people say wow, it's something nice, no, it's just not good design. in my opinion. Um, I personally have one. I have Unbound version, which is basically the only one that survived over the years, because all others are on either dead or inactive accounts. So basically, it's only rare if you can find Unbound, which is highly unlikely. But yeah, it's basically nothing special aside from that. So I would probably put him. Let me see. Yeah, I would probably put him behind Ray, because Ray is unbound, this is bound, so Ray is flexible. Spirit Beat Lion, or as I like to call it, Wannabe Lion. I don't like him one bit. I said that in one of the previous videos. Horrible looking, horrible design, horrible color palette, very expensive. For 1 KT points you get this kind of crap. Aside from being a shiny new toy, I don't really see people why would anybody get this. Like as I've said, I still stay behind it. If you like this mount, you really have a questionable taste for nice. But yeah, so basically now it's a question how bad it is. It's this bad that it would go. Let me see. It's around boar, like it's either in front or behind the boar. I'm gonna probably put him behind the boar, just because it's way more expensive, and you basically get the same speed. Golden Wolf. I don't like his mount one bit. Cheap. That's the only positive. But it's 20 speed, very ugly color palette. Again, it's a good thing that he's small, but very funky, very funky when you run him. Basically, he hops instead of runs, like a rabbit. Yeah, basically his color palette is ruining it for me, so I would probably put him. I would probably put him in between these two, because this one is at least cheaper than this one, and this one just has too much anyways going on to him. These two are at least a little bit more simple design, like they don't have as much going on as this. This is just hot mess, like when you just throw a bunch of stuff on one space and you cannot even differentiate what is what. Fire Killing, same deal as this one, just a different color. I prefer this color above this one. However, I think I think this one is a little bit cheaper than this one, or they are same price. I'm not sure now. But yeah, basically, same deal, completely. It's only that I prefer this color. So for that reason, I'm gonna probably put him. Let me see. I like him more than. I guess he would be fine here. Lightning Reindeer. This was my favorite mount before Sea Turtle came out. So basically, I like this mount for years. Which is Turtle came out in December 2013. Really cheap, really good looking, 20 speed, small, excellent design, excellent color palette, which is purple, which again, my favorite color is purple, so that's no brainer. But yeah, basically there is not much else to say. A lot of people still like him to this day, so he is going to go. Let me see. Definitely less pain than those two. So I would probably put him here. Kong. Kong is same case as a bird. Very impractical to run. Too expensive. 3 KT points or 3.5 KT points. Like, that's just not worth it. The main issue I have with him is because you sit on his right side and not on the middle. So basically, you can very easily misjudge where you can click, and it basically can screw up whether you lure something, whether you run, or try to cut a corner when you go somewhere. Basically not a good mount, very easy to bug a position also when you run. The only good thing I like about him is that he has good color palette. Even like he looks best when he's +0, like he looks really freaky. All of those additional stuff he gets from the armor and color and the vibration of the effect make him look a little bit funky, but I don't really mind it, like he still looks good. But if that's gonna be only selling point, I would rather gladly pass it. Now, how bad he is? I would say probably around, like he looks okay, that's only positive I have about him, but man, he's too expensive and he's not worth it. So I probably basically slot him in between here. Skeleton Sword. Most expensive mount in the game, T-point wise. Basically 4k T-points. Very wide. Very big. But I like about him the most his color palette. Those purplish, dark blue, gray colors, like I really like that mix a lot. That's why I got one myself. Is it recommended for other people to get him? I wouldn't really, because you are going to suffer a lot to get him. But aside from that, I would say this might be a little bit bold, but I would say his price justifies his look. Like, this might be one of the very few cases that I like big mount, and probably because of his design is really good. All those horn spikes, that skull head, I really dig that. So I'm going to put him around here. Silver Wolf, basically a recolor of Golden Wolf, but with way better color palette, like a lot better. It has like the snowy effect out of his front paws that is coming out. This one is just like a red beam. Also this one is a little bit less gray than this one. This one is, I think, a little bit more dark gray. But yeah, way better than this one overall. Same thing. So with that, I'm going to put him, let me see, but overall I'm not a fan of wolves in general. I think this would be good spot somewhere around here. I think this one would be good, maybe even in front of this one. Yeah, I think this one would be fine. Pumpkin Floater. I like this floater a lot, probably my favorite floater in the game. It's exclusive to Halloween, however very cheap, very good looking, not too big, has a lot going on, and it's only mount that when you ride him it does not move statically, it actually bounces up and down. So that's the unique thing about him. But yeah, basically not much else to say. I really like him a lot, so for that reason he's going, I think he's going to go above Skeleton Sword, just because it's so much easier to get price wise, because this is just enormous by price, but it is what it is at the end of the day. Fire Phoenix, better version of the Golden Phoenix that's gonna be cleared out right away, so he automatically is not gonna go in mech category. He actually looks like a phoenix, not those sparkly thingies. Like, I like how he is all flamey. It's a lot easier to get than this one. That's a big bonus. Also, this mount also had a variation of 40 speed, not only 30 speed in 2009 and 2010 from the original Halloween event. But basically, yeah, this mount of that version of 40 speed is basically extinct by now. So you can only get the 30 speed version from branches, or the one from the Fire Phoenix treasure box, which comes very rarely in shop. So question comes, where do I put him? Let me see. I think somewhere around here would be fair. Silver Tiger. I have a problem with Silver Tiger, and that's because he runs like he's shot in his back foot. Aside from that, color palette is good, armor looks good, it's small mount, but man, I cannot unsee that fungi running. Like, he literally looks like he has no one leg. That's big minus for me, because at the end of the day, people even mind about the aesthetics. It's very cheap to get. You can also get him bound from the Peaches now, which is okay. It's 20 speed, not too big. So he is going to go. Let's see. I think about here would be fair. Yeah, next to his brother, normal version of Tiger. Magic Wolf. One unique thing about this mount is that on its release, first 3 months, he had a sound effect. Basically, the Kong had also the same sound effect. Kong had a pounding sound effect, basically when he hits his chest and he slams with his fist the ground. But Wolf had a sound effect. Basically, he would growl, and his thing at the back that spins all the time would produce like a scorching or burning sound constantly whenever it would spin. But aside from that, too expensive for my taste. Looks wise, it's fine. It's nothing wow. Too big in my opinion, like especially those wings are a little bit too much. But aside from that, it's fine for what you pay. Like, I wouldn't really go crazy about him. Basically they ruined him because they removed his sound, but again, it is what it is. Like, it's their game, they can do whatever they want. So I'm going to put him is behind those. I think he's gonna go here. Ambelite Deer. This is my favorite mount for a female character. Well, technically you can put Mantis on Tamer, but aside from that, the Deer is basically exclusive to female characters if you want to look good on him. While Mantis you can pretty much use on every character. I really like, he gives me that vibe of innocent Bambi look. That's really cool. He has that pinkish light purple aura, which I like a lot. For some people he does run funky, she actually, because it's female, I guess, which I don't really mind. I prefer his overall aesthetics. Very thin mount, very slick mount. So yeah, for that reason he is going to the top 3 for now. Forest Floater. Probably I would say, aside from Pumpkin Floater, the best thing that you get for the cheapest amount. Well, technically you can say Turtle is even cheaper, because they are the same, and Turtle used to be water mount. I mean, still is, but you know what Saddle did. So basically, really good looking. It looks a little bit crappy before you plus 7 it. Once you plus 7 it, it becomes good. Once you plus 10 it, it looks amazing. It has a lot going on, but it's not too much. Very vibrant. Price wise, very cheap. Decent size. So yeah, with that being said, he's going to go here. Actually, I think I'm gonna move surfboard actually over here. Now do I go in front? Yeah, I think I'm gonna go in front with surfboard. Brown Bear. Basically best mount for luring in the game, in my opinion. Every bear that you use. Really has really good running kit. I prefer to lure any caves with this mount because, again, very practical in my opinion. Very cheap, very good looking. I like the brown, I like that fiery, flaming, dark brown, like flames that coming out of him. Basically looks really fearsome, especially with the open mouth. But yeah, awesome looking mount, especially for monks, looks stunning. So yeah, with that being said, he is going over here. Whitehawk sword. Man. Flat mount, first of all, because it's a sword. Big, a little bit too big for my taste. Very expensive, 3KT points, I believe. Looks good on wizards and fairies, I would say. Color palette is good, I like it. Like, it is semi pinkish to somewhat purple, which is cool. It has like that dark deep gray effect even on it on the sword, which is cool. However, price is what, man, it's 3k is too much for it. So with that alone, like, it's good, but how good it is, I would say probably around here. Yeah. Handsome panda. Best looking on monks, which is, I believe, no brainer for now. Cheap mount, okay size. It has cool those like flappy things that hover in the air. Basically funky mount. A lot of fun to use. Decent size. Also, it's on a cheaper side, so yeah, definitely mount. I would recommend to people to try out, if nothing. So yeah, I think I'm gonna put him around. Yeah, I think I'm gonna put him even on the top of okay. Fancy Fox, in my opinion, worst recoloring of the Secret Fox, but it's way easier to get. Very cheap. Personally, I don't like the mix of a orange and green, but that's just me. Maybe some people do. But yeah, basically same deal as Secret Fox, just a little bit worse color palette. So with that being said, I'm gonna probably put her around here. And for the end, we got a red pony. Same deal as blue pony, only it's 10 speeds slower. It's a lot cheaper. Well, maybe not by a lot, but it's cheaper nonetheless. This is what you would say your standard 20 speed go-to mount, basically like 10 to 12 years ago. So it aged well. Like, even to this day I still see people that would prefer to run it, even though he is slower than most of the mounts. Overall, okay looking. I would prefer always a blue variant, not just because of speed but because of the color too. But I don't really mind it, so yeah, I think I would probably put him around, let me see, I think around here would be fine. Yeah, and that's going to be it. Basically, I would like to hear your opinions down in the comments below. You can also do your own ranking list. I'm going to save this spreadsheet on the tier maker site, so you can do the ranking yourselves. I try to be as fair towards the mounts as I could, but yeah, basically you can make a case that something is better and worse just based off your liking, so that's gonna be always the case. I also have a plan to do later on ranking of all the pets, and as well also all of the unreleased mounts. Now, unreleased mounts video will probably take a few months preparation time, because there's so many mounts that are not unreleased. Like, this is just, I would say, like a third of the total mounts that we got added to the game. So there's way more mounts that are awaiting us to be added. But yeah, there will be sometimes next year, probably, because I have scheduled some other videos for this year. So probably expect next year pets ranking video. But yeah, with that being said, like, share, and subscribe. As always, it gives me a motivation to keep on doing the videos, and I also like interaction that you guys leave, and girls, in the comments below. So with that being said, until next time, and I'll see you in the game. Take care.